Daniel Cormier believes Khamzat Chimaev deserves a title shot if he defeats Paulo Costa. Khamzat vs. Paulo is set to go down at UFC 294 on October 21st. On his YouTube channel, DC said, "I don't understand why Khamzat Chimaev has not fought again since he fought Kevin Holland. There's more to this story than we know. Maybe I'll do some digging and try to uncover it, but he's fighting against Paulo Costa. If he beats Paulo Costa, Khamzat Chimaev will have earned himself a title fight at 185 pounds, and I don't think anyone can disagree with that. I don't believe that beating Gilbert Burns, going up, and now beating Paulo Costa doesn't get you a championship opportunity. It makes you the #1 contender between Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. We thought that the Gilbert Burns fight was going to teach a lot about Khamzat, and it did. It taught us that he's as good as they come. It also taught us that regardless of the level of competition, this young man is going to compete the same way, and he did. He won a very competitive fight against Gilbert Burns, but Gilbert Burns' willingness to stand in the fire and fight him is what made it a more competitive fight. Now he's got a bigger guy in Paulo Costa who's willing to do the same thing." Last week, we reported on Sean Strickland claiming that he got into an altercation with Kevin Lee's little brother, Keith Lee. Keith is a former Bellator fighter who is now a famous TikTok food reviewer. Since Sean went off on Keith on his podcast, Keith has responded via TikTok. Here's what he had to say.
"I've received a week straight of false allegations, negative comments, and negative backlash for something that I didn't do. Let's talk about it."
Pretty much, like, he tried to, talk to me about, race. He tried to have, this racial, systematic oppression.
Yes, me and Sean had a conversation. No, this conversation didn't go anything how he depicted it. Sean Strickland is an MMA fighter who is known for saying divisive things. We had disagreements prior to the situation, but nothing that couldn't have been settled with a conversation. So at the point of this conversation, we were gym partners. I walked up to him and two people who I consider friends having a conversation after practice. I joined the conversation, and the conversation happened to be already on race. In the beginning of this conversation, it was not only intelligent, but it was productive. One thing led to another, and Sean said this.
And anytime you're talking to somebody racist, and I know this because I used to be a little racist. Anytime you're talking to someone racist and you want to really piss them off, you just got to talk about the sex of the race of whatever they are. So I'm like, "Yo, Lee, I'm not racist. Black woman than you have, bro. How am I racist?" And I'm like, "Bro, just relax, dude. I know you got a little white woman at home, right?" And I'm just I'm kind of poking him, but I'm doing it funny.
I never found the humor in any of those comments. He then spun my words into saying what he said I said.
And he goes, "Nah, I don't like white people."
Never at one point did I say I don't like anybody. I simply disagree with what he said, and instead of fighting ignorance with ignorance, I said, "No, I'm happily married with children, and I'm very proud of the family that God has allowed me to build." I also immediately disagreed with all of the ignorant and distasteful comments that he made, and I no longer was interested in entertaining the conversation, which the conversation itself ended very shortly after that. And again, I ignored a week and a half full of backlash. I don't have any bad feelings or wish anything ill against Sean Strickland. I just want this cleared up, because that's not what I stand on, and that's not what I said. The only reason I'm responding to this at all is because it's spinning into a narrative that's completely false. I've debated a week straight on whether I should respond to this or not, or give this any kind of attention. But it has not only begun to affect me, but my family financially and mentally. I've blocked over 1,000 people and deleted thousands of comments that were degrading me and coming at my personal character. But false things like this are not only detrimental to me, but also can potentially deter potential brands that would like to reach out to me and my family. On top of deterring people who have no idea who I am and are just discovering me for the first time, want to join our community. And it's unfair to me and my family to miss out on opportunities that can change our lives based on lies. It was on 6 different videos that was completely unrelated, and it was a head search. On top of that, this goes completely against what I stand on as a person. My actions speak louder than my words, and I've been blessed enough to be in a position to be a marketing platform for business and business owners of all races. Sean claimed to have 2 witnesses of me saying this. I called both of those witnesses today, and we had a conversation. I told both of them that I was recording and I will post it. For that conversation that I had with Sean Strickland.
Yes, I remember it quite well.
Do you remember me saying I don't like white people?
No, you did not say that.
Thank you.
So that's Sean. He's he's gonna antagonize, but I don't think. I think if you actually spoke to him directly about it now that he's not on the podcast or whatever, he would probably acknowledge that. Oh yeah, you didn't say that. I was just kind of,
But we have argued about this. Even on the podcast, we talked about it. I was like, bro, I don't remember that being the entire conversation.
Did you ever hear me say I don't like white people?
Yeah, but I don't recall this. You were right there. I know you all had a conversation about racism. I don't think this is how this conversation went.
And again, this conversation that we talked about happened over a year ago. I haven't actively been at the gym all year, so they have no reason to lie on my behalf. It's just the situation didn't go how he depicted, and I appreciate both of them being honest and standing up for what's true. In this last week, TikTok has slowly shifted to something that's not very enjoyable for me. and I don't like that. TikTok has been one of my safe havens and one of the places I come to connect with my community. At the end of the day, I just want to return back to that, eat food, take care of my family, and continue to be the person that God has called me to be for not only myself, my family, and my community. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
Sean Strickland responded to this via Twitter. Sean said, I made a food critic upset. LMAO, bro, you eat Cheetos for a living. Relax. I'm married to a beautiful black woman. Yes. And right before that, you said, nah, I don't like white people. Again, it doesn't fucking matter. LMAO, keep eating your sushi. A fan replied to Sean saying, Keith Lee is such a fake good guy. Sean replied 100%. Sean continued, if Kurt denies the TikToker saying, nah, I don't like white people, then it is only one of two things. One, you don't remember, which is odd because we've had this conversation many times, or two, you're a liar or a coward. And that's the last thing I'll say on this. A fan replied he got really defensive for the sponsors. Sean said, real talk. Lucky for me, I don't get sponsors. I just think I pushed his buttons and he let a little bigotry slip. Fuck, man, we all have it. I don't even blame him for that. I blame him for being a liar and a coward. Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren agree to rematch each other. Jorge did an interview with TMZ Sports this week. He said, I don't plan on fighting anybody anytime soon, but maybe like in a boxing match. I'd come out and just smack Nate Diaz up later on in life or something like that. Maybe me and Jake Paul, something in the future. I don't know, man. But as of right now, I'm just doing the promoting thing. I heard Ben Askren said he'd come out of retirement to fight me. This dude, he wanted MMA, but for his sake, I'd do boxing if I were him, so I can't knee him in the face. It's illegal. Duh. Come on, man. Hey, Ben, I'll beat your ass with both hands behind my back. Ben's so bad at boxing. He's the one that said it. Ben, I'll only give you the rematch in boxing, motherfucker. People will tune in because I can't knee him in the face, right? Maybe Ben can get his way now. Hey, Ben, kiss my ass. You coming out of retirement. I'll send you right back into it, motherfucker. This guy, bro. They shouldn't have shown me that comment. You corny motherfucker. Ben responded via Twitter. Ben posted this. He wrote, balls in your court, BMF. Ben texted Dana White. He wrote, I know I'm retired, but I sure would love to beat up Jorge. Let me know if he is in. Ben continued, no, I'm not going to box Jorge. If Jorge was really a BMF, he will accept a rematch in MMA and not be a coward. He followed up with posting this. He wrote, I've kept in great shape during retirement. I have zero desire to fight anyone except that loser Jorge. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Unknown Gaming 2343. It says, I'm here for the Patty and Molly hate. The second one's from Nate Marks. It says, Molly should just do BKFC. She can't even beat a girl who was 1-5 in the UFC. And the final one says, what Molly doesn't realize is the fans are hating because she was protected by Dana, promoted all the time, given easy opponents and still lost. Same goes for Patty, TBH. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.